welcome to another episode of Success Ladder Podcast. My name is Paul Bryan, and as usual, at Success Ladder Podcast, we bring you stories that inspire the world. And today we are going to have some interesting conversation. So this gentleman that I'm hosting today, that I'm featuring in this episode, this is not the first time he's appearing on Success Ladder Podcast. We've done two episodes with him, talking about AI and all that, what he does and all that. But now, beside all those nice stories about AI and all that, there sits a man with a story. So today, I don't even think if I'm going to say anything. Maybe I'll find maybe one or two questions to ask. But today, Leon is going to tell us his story, a very inspiring story. I hope you listen and watch this until the end, because it's going actually to inspire you. So Leon, again, not everybody knows you. I'm assuming those who didn't watch the first and the previous episodes we did with you. So just do the honors and introduce yourself. As you know, here we only bring intellect. So
yeah. Thank you. I'm Leon, again, for those who were not here last time. I operate in the AI and personal branding space. That's professionally. But I am more than that as a person, and I deal in quite a lot. Some people call me a dealer of hope. I deal hope in different forms, in different ways. Building people around me, building myself around people and all that. So that's who I am as a person. And we'll probably we'll be going to find out more about that and what it means in details and all that. So yeah, I'm happy to be here once again. And like I said, the fact that I'm on this podcast, I already made it. So
yeah, you have that. Yeah. So we've already made it. Director
I have
Stella,
made it.
or you, Director
Myself and
Stella.
Joe, yes.
And did you hear that? Yeah, very nice. So actually, this is what happened. And sometimes, it's good when you learn, like you get to understand people. So we did amazing episodes with Leon, and we were strolling, talking about stuff, and a conversation came, and he told me, man, I have a story. And I told him, what, I don't want you to even tell me that story today, because that is what Success Ladder Podcast does. We want to inspire people. So I don't want to listen to that story alone. So that's why we have Leon here today. And he's going to tell us a very inspiring story, a story that is going to bring hope to me, a story that is going to bring hope to you. So Leon, actually, where do we start?
Anyway, you want us to start?
Yeah, so
And talk about the infancy, your ancestry, and all that.
What can you remember? Personally, I always have I have memories. I remember things that happened from when I was 5 years old. So I think I have those memories. I can actually tell you whatever happened between 5 years date. I can remember. But I just want us to start from maybe when you're born. If you have memories about when you're born, or maybe the age that you can remember, but I want us to start it from the roots.
Okay. Yeah, so when a story is told, it's either you're being told a story about yourself,
Exactly.
or someone else is telling a story about yourself,
Yeah.
or you're telling your own story,
Yeah.
or the best part,
Yeah.
you're telling yourself your story of success and inspiration and triumphs and challenges and all that. But the few I can pick from what I was told, when I was born with 14 medical conditions. Some of them being the major ones, epilepsy, and I also had some heart conditions and all that. So it was a tough moment for my actual parents. And for some reason, they could not take care of me by then.
Yeah.
So my grandma, who was working with some government institution and all that, she resigned the day I was born to take care of me. So actually, Grandma Priscilla. In my hierarchy of the most important people, I have her at the top, very top. She's the best person, the best thing that ever happened to me. And then, of course, I have my big brother, and then my mom, and then Cristiano Ronaldo, and then the rest of you come there, including this podcast. Yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo has a big part.
Me and you, the same.
Yeah. So that's where it started when grandma took charge of me when I was still a toddler and all that.
Yeah.
She raised me. The very first time I came to live with my mom actively was after grade 4. It was grade 4. I think at the age of 9 there.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I was born and raised in Kibera, majorly.
Yeah.
Right. So in grade 4 there, I came to live with mom. Things worked out as they should, but others didn't.
Yeah.
And technically, from age 12, I raised myself. So for the past 13 plus years, I've been living a life that I describe as raising myself, both in guidance, in fighting for chances to live, raising myself economically, trying to put myself through school and all that. So all that, we've done it through the grace of God. And of course, what I like mentioning is my story is not even possible in any other country other than this country. This is the only country that I could get a chance to live the way I lived and actually come out of the other side alive. So I'm grateful, one, to be born here, and the fact that I've been guided by God through and through. I've been given people in my life to support me. Grandma starting there, my big brother here and there, inspiration from Cristiano Ronaldo from miles away. That guy doesn't even know that I exist. But someday he'll know that he played a very big role in me being who I am. As much as we are not all playing football professionally and all that, but our story is kind of the same. Majorly,
Yeah, amazing. You see, when you talk about Cristiano Ronaldo, personally, I like him as a player. To me, he'll always be the best, and I also draw so many things from him. The way he does his stuff, the way he manages his discipline and all that. So I'm glad to share that from you. And you see, the way you're putting it is very perfect. It's perfect. Like he doesn't know that there is Leon somewhere, there is Paul Brand somewhere who draws inspiration from him, right?
Yes.
And the same thing that I always tell people, that as you live your life, somebody somewhere is looking up to that life. So can you live your life diligently? Because you never know how many people are looking up to you, how many people are drawing inspiration from you, how many people outside there you're motivating. So that's amazing. So let's go back to something you mentioned, that you're born with several medical conditions. So how did this go? Are they still there, or are there some that are managed?
Most of them are managed, including my heart conditions and all that. But after every incident, there's usually the aftermath.
Yeah, definitely.
When a house collapses, the debris and all that. So after every incident, there's the aftermath. And some of the conditions I had, especially related to the brain and all that, epilepsy and others, caused some growth in my brain. And later in 2020, I discovered that in a hashery. I was sitting for my exam in college, and I just bleeding and passed out and all that. So when I went for tests. They discovered a growth somewhere in my brain, which we've been managing. And luckily, mid last year, I decided to deliberately stop taking drugs that I was using on a monthly basis. Citing advice from a certain monk, an Indian monk I met during our Rotary meetings at the Goan Gymkhana club in Gara. And I started some fasting practices here and there, not willingly, but I wanted to test and see what would happen.
Yeah.
It was tough at the beginning, but since I usually go for my monthly checkups, the last few checkups have been showing positive results. It's not carcinogenic though, or let's say cancerous.
Yeah.
It had not reached that level, so that's really better news about it. But again, I had started conversations about operations and all that, so we were managing it until a reasonable size, and then it was to be chopped off. Uh, and I met some doctors from abroad in between there. We had a conversation about uh, nano operation, that's non-invasive. They just use nanotechnology to get rid of that.
Yeah.
But with this, the practices that I was given by this monk, that I've been trying to put in place, I feel that there is a very high possibility I might not need to go for that because it's been working for me, and God has been grateful to me. I also met a veteran journalist. She's called Catherine Mange. She was in KTN. She had someone in her life before with the same condition, and there were some remedies, natural remedies from abroad that person used, and they worked well. So she recommended. I just ordered some. Someone from the UK will be coming in between 10th and 11th, and they'll be coming with them. So I intend to try that on top of what I'm already doing, and I think it will work in my favor. Yeah, I'm positive.
Yeah.
Yes.
That will work. Whatever it takes you to be well, may God take control. And I'm very sorry for that. But please, our God, I'm going to take control, and I know you'll be fine. You'll be okay. Yeah. You're making me lose my words, but I'm gonna hold it. You know what? We have to be strong.
No, it's not that hard as people imagine. And that's why I don't like telling this story, because people start viewing you in a different frame and all that. Most people, when I tell them this, they start treating us a weak person who needs pity, favor, and all that. But I don't. I'm very okay with how the situation is. I'm actually glad that the things I went through came when I was still young. Because I'm just imagining a grown-up man who has been well all their life, and then suddenly they discover they have this, they have that, they have to depend on themselves, and it would have been really catastrophic. But the fact that it happened when I was still very young, it didn't mean much to me. I saw it as a game. And I think that's how life is, just a game. And all you have to do is play to win, not play for the other person to lose. Just play to win, and everything will be okay.
So back to your story. So at the age of about 9, you start living with mom. So why did you transition? Is grandma still there?
Yeah, she's there, very strong and going. Though sickly because of old age, of course. But she's there. We felt it was necessary for me to get motherly guidance and all that. It worked at some point. At some point, it did work, but it was all in good faith. Everyone, I tell people that everyone has a valid reason to do whatever they do. Right? If people mistreat you, they have a valid reason for doing that. If people treat you well, they have a valid. So whatever happened between us, it's gone. It's in the past. I actually came to a point where I realized if I were in her shoes, maybe I would have done worse. Right? She's just human and all that. And plus I love her. She's my mom. Without her, I wouldn't be alive. Right? So I love her so much. And that's why she is number 3 on my list. After Belma, I have my big brother. He's the best. And then now she comes there. We're only 2, so he's my big brother and myself. Then she comes there, and then Ronaldo, and then success
and many other people. So I think now the most interesting part of your story will be from the age of 12 years when you started managing yourself. So Just tell us, at the age of 12, maybe you are in class 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was also in class 7. I was 12. I did my KCP when I was 13 years. So, what happened? Why did you start managing yourself? And yeah,
I wouldn't mention particular details about that,
yeah,
but I will just say that circumstances
yeah,
forced that I do that. Of course, in between, I bounce from relative to relative, but how they are and all that.
Yeah.
Plus, I was naturally this rebellious kid. That's how they say.
Yeah, okay.
But the thing is, I just don't allow people to walk all over me, no matter who you are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're the president of Kenya, the president of the United States, I don't care.
Yeah.
You want to walk all over me as I lie down for you to make me your red carpet. No, I don't do that. So the fact that I couldn't let people walk all over me, and of course they took that as rebellion and all that, it was a bit hard for me to get the necessary help that I needed from relatives. Yeah. But again, everything happens for its own reasons, and it was a learning curve for me. Yeah. I didn't know back then, but right now it's easy to look back as a prophet and say that it was a learning curve.
Yeah, and maybe that journey made you the person you are today, actually.
Yeah, actually, most of what happened in my childhood is actually that informs who I am as a person, how I relate to other people. I know how to treat people better because I really wanted that at some point, but it didn't come. So I don't want people to feel how I felt, right? That is a virtue that was self-learned because of the experiences that we went through. So everything that happens to you, one, it's your fault. Number two, especially as a man, everything that happens to you, it's your fault. And then number two, it's a learning process.
Definitely.
Very important. It's a learning process. So take the lessons and move on.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I think that is very important. You see, sometimes things don't go our way. Mm-hmm. Things happen that are not actually the result that we wanted. But at the end of the day, always say you pick up your lessons, learn from it. They're going to make you a better human being. So at the age of 12, you're in class 7, and then you finish your primary school. Then you see like in Kenya, primary, it's called basic free primary education. We call it that. Though I know there are funds that are attached to it, but let's see, manageable. Then how did you get to high school? Who catered for that? School fee, all the way to your college and all that.
Yeah, so after finishing primary school, of course, I didn't have fee to go to school. Yeah. As much as my mom was around, she could not support in any way. So I started serving in children homes. Yeah. Homes of the elderly, homes of the able differently. And with time, in one of my service, we met this organization that is sponsored by people from Australia, just in Langata, somewhere in Langata, called Women for Women. Okay. Yeah, Onake for Onake. So they paid my entire high school fee, the 4 years. It was really great. And this period, the 4-year period, is actually one of the most influential and breakthrough moments in my life because of the interactions I had at that time. Okay, one, it was policy for this organization that when you close schools, you must go there, stay there for 2 weeks during a holiday, make sure you finish your homeworks. You read books, you had a certain number of books you had to finish before they let you go enjoy your holiday. Okay. So through reading books, and then I anointed myself as the president of the students who were part of that program. Yeah, so every time these organizations came, I was supposed to speak, say a thing or two. I was supposed to sit with them in boardrooms and of course, you need to communicate clearly to them. You can't just sit there and say nothing just because you're an African kid who lives in the ghetto. So I had to sharpen myself to know how to communicate to them, how to interact with them, and those tiny moments actually really sharpened and shaped who I became, especially in the leadership space and all that. So it was a momentous time for me, and actually that's the period I started my professional life in sales and all that. I'll tell you more about that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Good stuff. Then you're done with college. So where did you used to go like after the two weeks? Let me call it camp. Like during the holidays, you said that you could be together in the organization's facility for 2 weeks. You finish your assignments, you do stuff together as a community, and then the remaining 2 weeks, because I think most of the time the holidays are normally a month, so that is like 4 weeks.
Yes.
Where you used to go?
Friends, bouncing between relatives in there, but mostly friends. Actually, we grew up 7 of us as friends who were not related, but we used to play football together.
All right.
Unfortunately, 5 of them are dead right now. They were short of mob justice and all that because of little crimes here and there. You know how it happens there, right? One of them is still somewhere there, trying out life, is doing well. But when people look at that, and in comparison with odds of making out of such a place, the odds are so slim. So 1 out of 7 actually made it out of that group, and you can see how odds are stacked against people down there and all that. And that's why I try so hard to just build communities around such people and bring them out of that space.
Speaking of that, how is life in slums? Because you say that you're raised in Kibera, and Kibera is one of the biggest slums in Africa. So how is life in the slums? Sometimes we just see people. Maybe people say, "Oh, I was raised in this place," but actually, maybe we don't concentrate on the past you, the previous you, which is not even important. But just to give a picture, because I think people go through a lot in that phase, and there are also crimes. And maybe as you tell us, you also tell us how you manage to navigate this, because I know how hard it is there, and especially when you are having a lot on your plate the way you had, it's very easy for you to find yourself in those crimes.
Now, for every painter that you know out there, the Picassos and all those that you know, the one Greta Van Goghs and all those, at some point during their painting of a masterpiece that we know, they need to step back from the frame to actually see the whole picture for them to come up with something really great. What I mean is, until you step from the slum and look at it from outside, you never know how disadvantaged you are as a person. Because one, when you are in there, the security issues are not security issues. It's something you live with every day. When I used to go to school, I used to meet bodies having been slaughtered in corridors, dark corridors. And you're going to school and you do not fear. You just jump all over them and go. Because it's something you see every day, all right? Back then it was quite hard. But it was nothing to me because it's an experience you come across every day, right? So you don't see the danger that comes with. Number 2, life there is extremely easy. Extremely easy, extremely cheap, and that's dangerous. I know people are wondering how. But where I stay right now, with 500 shillings, I can't have a complete breakfast. Where I stay right now, with 1,000 shillings, I can't have complete dinner. unless I go out to eat in a restaurant or fast food. But if I have to cook at home, then 500 shillings is solely. But in Kibera, with 50 shillings, 10% of the 500, you can actually have breakfast, the two of us, sufficient breakfast. All right? With 100 shillings, right now, with this economy that people are crying here and there, with 100 shillings, you can have complete dinner for a family of 4. In Kibera, today, February 2026, we still have places that you can go and buy wheat flour for 30 shillings. Unapimiwa unga ngano. So unaweza kula chapo hiyo na 30.
Okay.
Chapo zimejipikia, si ati umebuy.
So how does that happen? Like, when I say, is it like the meal? Does it come in kagunia, or is the same one that you are in packets that are sold?
I don't know how it happens, but there's one thing you need to understand. In every market, there's always a product for everyone. And actually, you'll get to be surprised when you realize that even those economic kadogo, we call it economic kadogo, they are being supplied by the who is who in this country in terms of the economy. Because you can never get rich getting money off your fellow rich men. You must go to the poor people because they are majority, right? So if part of that 30, 4 million people, it's better than getting 100,000 from 5 people. Okay? So that's the aspect of life. And they continue to supply that so that people do not get from that state. They want us down there. Okay? And sorry, that's so crippling, because imagine telling someone, talk up, and you can have 50 bob, you can comfortably eat and be satisfied. Kuja huku, mali of 50 bob is nothing. You can do nothing with it. This person is used in 2026 to pay rent 3,000 on the Saka, on the Kulipa rent 20,000. What are you telling them? And you know what happens in your comfort zone, right? Growth is automatically stagnated, automatically. There is no way you'll grow. Hakuna venye nitaamka mapema going to hustle or doing that extra effort when I know all I need is 50 and I'll be okay. Okay? Mtu wa mjengo, nowadays wanalipa 700 on mtu wa mkono. 700 there. This person, ukienda kwa mjengo unasikia mtu wa mjengo pesa yake kwa 700 anachanga 400 uko kwa mjengo, amekula vizuri. Akiingia na 300 home, anajua vizuri 300 italipa rent na italisha watoto na italipa school fees getu na utakuwa sawa. When will that person ever think about growing? That's the danger. That's the biggest danger of being in the ghetto. Not even the insecurity issues and all that. The comfort. That's the biggest danger actually. And is the danger that we need to address. Security, insecurity, it's everywhere. They're used to it. And why used to it. But that comfort, no, it's like a drug. You get addicted to it and you never step out of it.
So, how's the experience when you joined high school? Was it a boarding school or a day school?
A boarding school. And actually I got to meet new people. I came to understand that I could study with a son of a former politician in the same class. I never imagined that in the ghetto. I got to understand that I could study with a grandson of a former minister of CS and all that. I didn't imagine that. That was an achievement in itself. Just sitting in the same class with them to turn on me on TV was a super achievement. And then the fact that during that period is when I got to interact with those Wazungus and I realized they're just normal people. You see, before, walikuwa wakikaa ghetto, tutawafuata for kilometers. So wakitembea tusitu kwa nyuma, we just want to see, are they really normal people? How do they behave? But after that experience, it was a normal thing for me. And I think the fact that I went to boarding school and when I came home, I got to interact with people who traveled and got a different perspective to life
Yeah.
is actually a big game changer. And that's what gave me the odds to beat all the odds that were stacked against us and actually get out of that place. Without those two experiences, I don't think I'll be here. Probably I'll still be there, which is not a bad place, like I said. I would rather be here than there.
Than the other
Yes.
side.
Yes.
Yeah, so actually, I get to wonder. I know every time there is an attempt, you see, like sometimes the government say that they want to build houses in those slums. There is always that strong opposition.
Yes.
And I think maybe, if I'm not wrong, maybe it's because of whatever you're talking about. There is that comfort. So these people, they don't care about. Um, they're used to certain standards of life, and they're very comfortable with it. So when you're telling them that they're supposed to spend more money, for example, on rent, it becomes a very, very, very big challenge, and that's why that opposition is always very strong. And I think it's the comfort that you're talking about, that you get to some level of comfort where you can't actually see growth on the other side.
Yes, and it's not their mistake actually.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it's like a politician would come and say, mnataka mletewe transformers za stima zianze kuwalipikia zikiwachomekea. Nani anataka kuchomekewa na nyumba? Hakuna mtu anataka kuchomekewa na nyumba. So mkitaka kuleta stable transformers in the ghetto, wanaiperceive mnataka kutuchomea nyumba, so they reject it. Now wanataka kujenga barabara ipite.
Yeah.
Mnataka kubomolewa manyumba, mletewe highway, watoto waanze kugongwa na magari. You see the narrative they create. So hawaoni kama barabara is opening up the place.
Yeah.
Wanaona watoto watakanyangwa na magari ziki speed up.
Yeah.
So I think it's majorly blamed on the leadership.
Yeah.
Of such places.
Yeah.
And there was just one leader.
Yeah.
The late.
Yeah.
Okoth. One to
one of them.
Yes.
Imran.
Yes.
Yeah.
That guy was the only visionary that had Kibera, best interest that had.
Yeah.
Anybody else that came before or after, no. They're just using the people in that place to benefit and push their political agenda and all that. But Okoth was really determined to bring the kids out of poverty, out of that bad mentality and all that. He had programs all over to just support that. But unfortunately, he died before he saw his go through. And I just hope that another Okoth will come up. Yeah. And maybe, you never know. In future, I might intend to be that Okoth. Like in the near future.
I hope if you get there, don't forget your words, because I know, you know the way our leaders behave. People, I don't know what actually happens, because I always feel like not everybody always lies before they go there. But once they get into those position, the story changes, the narrative changes, everybody for their stomachs. Yeah. But I understand, I think leaders do that a lot, not only in those slums, but across. Like they'll want something that will make them control the people, those numbers. So even if it's something that is going to benefit people, somebody will just come with a narrative to ensure that, one, these people continue to suffer. The more they suffer, the more the power I have over them.
Yes.
So I can control them. So if I come and give them 50 shillings, I come and give them 100 shillings, then I'm going to get votes. So for me, it's that leadership. I want to have control over them. I'm using them as my asset for whatever I'm doing. Yeah, so what was life? Actually would want to know, like, you see where you are. So you studied with kids from within, and then you've gone to school, into boarding school. Now you're coming back again during the holidays. Did you ever receive some rebellion, like maybe kids who are rebellious, or the community around you who are like, oh, you're going to school, you see, and all those sorts of things. Because I know even in your class, there are a couple of students who did well in that primary school exams, but did not join high school.
Yeah, at first, yes.
Yeah.
But I'd like to think that I've always understood leverage, even if I didn't know I was practicing leverage.
Yeah.
And of course, let's say common identity creation and all that.
Yeah.
So before I went to boarding school, we used to collect scrap materials and all that.
Yeah.
And sell to get food.
Yeah.
So after going to boarding, and I understood that they started seeing me differently. I just had to figure out what will be common identifiers between us. Collecting scraps, yeah, let's continue doing that.
Yeah.
Playing street football, let's keep doing it. So you don't separate yourself completely.
Yeah.
Because, and of course, the thing is, I had an added value because I had the 2 weeks after school to do whatever I was supposed to do to get out, and then get 2 weeks to stay in touch with my community.
Yeah.
Right now, every month I visit the ghetto. Okay, so I don't completely put them aside because they are my people.
Yeah.
Right? They are my people. I love them. It's just that right now I'm not in a position where I can get everyone out of that place.
Yeah.
If I had the ability to do that, I would completely transform that place in a night.
Yeah.
But I don't have that. So the best I can do is visit there, see this sick mama, see this sick kid and all of that. I try to support where I can. I actually have a program there for kids and widows.
Okay.
I have over 304 kids.
Amazing.
Between grade 1 and grade 6.
Yeah.
And then I have 78 mothers. I call them my mothers. They're all widows.
Yeah.
So what we do is we try to teach them business, support them. Unafungulia hiyo biashara ndogo wanaweza fanya. They share the profits, they build businesses for each other.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful, wonderful place we're creating. It's called Brainstorm, right? Brainstorm. So we are trying to build such programs so that we stay in touch with the community.
Yeah.
But again, expose them to what life is if they just saw it differently. So for someone like you, I will take you there.
Yeah.
You go speak to them, you go be with them for a while, just show them how different it could be, and that slowly by slowly start to change their mentality. Most of the kids there, they're just looking forward to joining boarding schools, high schools. That was not the case before, right? So if you see that, you just feel like you've achieved something so big that was not there before, and such are the ways I keep in touch with my community.
Yeah. All right, good. So if you have the powers, let's say that this is the day you see, like whatever you're saying, that maybe one day after the death of Imran, of course, whom you said had a great vision for Kibera, and that one day could be the one now living in that vision, living in that dream, and actually go on and actualize it. How would you transform, or how would you transform that place? Like, what is the criteria that you could use, or what actually, according to you, because you've been there, are the things that can be done to transform that place to a good place? I'm not saying that it's a bad place, but to a better place. Yeah, true.
The very first thing I'll do is banish all charity activities. I ban them. All charity activities out.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Because it's just an avenue for people to keep the locals down there because they always expect a handout. So we have to shift that. So what I'll do instead of charity, we take those resources and put them into capital building. Okay? Capital building in terms of, I've seen people try this. They try to build learning hubs and all that. But what use is a learning hub that can host 500 learners that only has 5 computers. And then desktops, the ancient ones, no internet. So these learners have to figure out how to come up with internet and all that. So that's just for photo up, and it's not good. That's playing on people's intelligence, which is not good. So one, I will banish all charity activities, and then number two, I will banish development of all private schools in there.
People are developing private schools.
Oh, goodness me. Every 1 meter you go, there's a private school. We have PB Primary School, we have Joe Primary School. It's just a menace, and they're all cash collection schemes because they actually don't offer value as much.
I agree.
Right? So I'll banish development of private schools, all of them, and put those resources into upgrading our public schools like Olympic. I know when you're growing up, Olympic was a big deal. Right? And now it's just any other school out there. Right? So put those resources there. But what I'll do better is one, create more institutes for vocational programs and technical skills learning, like those hubs. And since I'm in AI, teach people how to apply AI and just create businesses and jobs. I call it out of thin air, right? Because if you can get just 500 people creating income independently of their families and other people that support them, then you've transformed a really huge population down there. So one thing, banish charity programs, banish development of public schools, and then now implement more technical institutions and vocational programs. Actually, with applications. Applications meaning after you finish, go practice here. We don't just teach you, we teach you and then give you a place to go and practice. Whether you're interning or you're getting paid, as long as you're practicing, it's more valuable than us saying we taught 2,000 learners this year and then what do they have to show for their learning? So it's better for us to graduate 50 learners every year who are actively practicing somewhere, more than just producing numbers of learners who are not practicing. And then again, vitu kama sijui bursaries, that's just nonsense. What do you need a bursary for if you're paying a school fees of 2,000 per term in those sketchy private schools? You don't need a bursary. Go work hard for that money. So that money should be put into better use. I would really open up that place, bring more clean water. Such basic things really matter. I would open up the place with a few roads just to make sure it's accessible so that when next time PB wants to go build a business there, he doesn't fear for his life.
True.
Okay, he knows my business is safe because the area is open and all that. So minor things, I wouldn't want miracles. That place doesn't need miracles. It needs basic stuff that could start that snowball of a change. So I'll do that.
And I think you mentioned something that I've always been talking about, the issue of charity organizations. I think most of them are just people who are greedy outside there, who want to siphon money from the well-wishers. And you see somebody in America, for example, somebody in Europe, they don't actually have like a clear picture of whatever is happening here. They can see the videos. When was that? I think recently I saw a clip of Crazy Kena. I think it was Crazy Kena. Talking about Wazungu. So Wazungu are the white. Whenever they come to Africa, they're doing a video. So people always take those bad shots. So he could have moved for a good road for like even 500 kilometers, but they'll take a video of that bad road that even doesn't meet 1 kilometer. And I think that is what people do. So what Charity Foundation does, they go take those nice videos, take those pictures, and then sell them outside there. So if today somebody shares a clip, for example, of you see the state there, assume Kibera was now in USA or in Europe. You're not there. So basically, you'll see this, and I'm like, oh man, these are the people that you're going to support. So they pump in money, and that money is misused. And then something that I've always said, even some of the government projects actually, the issue of starting there is schools that already exist. Why will somebody set up a private school here, private school there? If you have good intention, you are a charity organization, for example, we don't need you to start a school. We just need you to use that money, pump it into that public school that is already existing, manage it, say that I'm going to build this number of classes, you see. Can you just rehabilitate the existing public institution and then give more learners the space? Because not everybody will come to your school, and there is no need of me starting school here, I move another distance, there is another, the way you're saying Joel High School, it doesn't make sense. Why don't you just put up these funds into rehabilitating already existing facilities? Actually, I think that way it will help. And again, as you said about the called technical institutions, I think it's easy because I know today. If you talk about the basic education, people moving, maybe you organization coming up or sponsoring education from primary to secondary to campus and all that, it's not going to benefit everybody. Actually, that will be for the young ones, but there are already youths who are there. So the best thing is teach them skills. And it's important. I know whenever people talk about skills, is you are taken, you are taught sluggishly, and then, we have 2,000 students who have graduated from Kibera Slums.
They call that impact.
Yeah, so they have called the impact. But then, do they have those skills? Can they practice them? Because ideally, such initiatives, in my perspective, what should be happening is the way you're saying, we don't even pick 2,000. Can you even pick 100, 50 or 100? Train them nicely, and then give them, for example, if it is carpentry, it is welding, it is tailoring. If you train them nicely and make them practice, actually those people can even start their own workshops. Now, when they start their own workshops, it now becomes even easier. They need people to work in those workshops, for example. What they do, as much as you are continue training some, they can also come in and do what? And offer job opportunities to these people, train them, because even if I don't have a skill, it's a technical skill. My mom used to tell me that kitu naona macho hafai kushinda. Whatever you're seeing with your eyes, you should never tell me that you can't do it. Yeah, because you just look at things. You should be able to do it, unless somebody is doing some magic with their, maybe, for example, computer. So that is from the brain. But whatever, like washing a plate, that one you should be in a position to do. So actually, they can bring in more youths, and they'll actually help them.
So plus, when it comes to the choice of what skills to sponsor, whether you are a government, a well-wisher in quotes, or whoever you are, you have few resources out there. You try to embrace research.
Yeah. Because
how do you train people on tailoring and embroidery, and then you graduate 500 girls? What are they going to do to do that? When was the last time you went to a tailor from Best Sanishone shirt?
I can't actually remember.
Compare that with the times you've gone to Gikomba to buy.
Yeah, true.
So why are we wasting money training things that are not needed?
Yeah, true.
Right? Teaching people embroidery. Embroidery, growing up, I saw it was being used mostly to knit either sweaters or what we call vitamba.
I remember them.
When was the last time you did that on your seat? You can't even tell. Right? So why do we keep on teaching people things that are not applicable and the market actually does not need? Just to certify a spreadsheet to say that we trained.
We trained,
Yeah, so research is quite important. And that can only be gotten when you go into the market, the actual market. What does that market need? Right?
True.
It needs people who can learn masonry because people are always building.
Yeah.
But target to vijana wetu waendelee kuwa watu wa mkono, they can also be fortunate for that.
Yeah.
We want people to go do plumbing.
Yeah.
We want people to go do welding in those buildings being built, the skyscrapers every day.
Yeah.
Why don't you take them on that instead of embroidery? I don't know. It becomes frustrating because in my view, this is my personal opinion.
Yeah.
It's not that people lack the ability to think and reason out and see that this is not needed, this is what is needed.
Yeah.
They just choose not to.
Not to.
Yani ile unakataa, mimi sitaki kufikiria, si ati hauwezi, unakataa.
And actually, you know that whatever you're doing is not helping, it's not adding any value, but
so
you just do it.
Why are you playing on people's intelligence? You better not do it at all. To do it too, we do not have graduates or tailoring. Instead of showing us we graduated 2,000 tailors when in a month, tailor wenye wako saizi, anashona nguo moja.
Yeah.
So where are they going? Unabaya cherehani halafu. Wanda ushania. Hata wewe mwenyewe unabaya cherehani, you still go to Gikomba.
Yeah.
So who is the market that you're training these people for? So that should be considered and looked into.
Yeah.
As much as we want to say train these people, just consider what you're training them on.
Yeah, and I think it's something that happens so much. I see, live along even Kibera, across the country, across the continent, you see, like people don't take their time. They don't want to. They know whatever they are doing. They know that these things not even adding value. But what do people want? People want PR. They want to see that. They want people to see that they are doing something, which is very wrong. At the end of the day, you're training these people, you're giving them those cherani, but where will they get the customers? Where are they going to work? Yeah. So yeah, I agree with you. So maybe moving a little bit back to your story. So after high school, how's life now? You're transitioning to campus from the slums. How's the experience? Both you as a person, like at that point, where did you see yourself? Because again now, when you go to campus, you're now starting to live a totally different life.
Yes.
Now it's you managing your life. You're there in the hostel. You're the manager of that house. In high school, you're like in some caprison, so things are being done for you. So you're told that Leon, this is the boundary, don't do this, don't do this. But then when you get to campus, when you get to college, it's a different thing. So you have the power to manage yourself. And at that point, now that you are living your life, you see, you're in an hostel. So it's like you've rented a house and this place is no longer a slum. What did you tell yourself? Because I'm trying to imagine at that point, I'm just telling myself, you know what, Paul Brian, I don't want to go back there. The life that has started, I want to live it outside that place.
Well, at least it was quite easy for me.
Yeah.
For reasons that I'll explain.
Yeah.
But the hardest part
Yeah.
was actually very funny. Is that I started getting money that I was not used to. So that was the toughest part actually to deal with.
Yeah.
What do I do with this money? How do I plan for this money and all that? That was the toughest part of my campus life. But the rest, I had started managing myself when I was still so that was easy. And then when in high school, Form 2, I went during all the holidays, I went to visit my classmate.
Yeah.
The father was in charge of multi-choice, I think, Mount Kenya region. And I saw some flyers on the table. I asked, what are these for? He told me for my sales team. I told him, can I come and try selling? He told me, no, you have to have an idea. Just told me, please, let me come because I'm doing nothing.
Yeah.
So let me just follow you guys. And I did that the first round. That was April holiday. I didn't sell anything.
Yeah.
August holiday, I told him I want to come. He told me, okay, come. We went to Nyandarua.
Yeah.
And long story short, I managed to sell good TVs, no, DSTVs,
yeah,
to two neighbors who didn't have electricity. They didn't even have TV sets. They didn't even have mabati houses. They had
Yeah.
houses,
Yeah.
right? Imagine convincing them to buy.
And
They're using a flyer.
Yeah.
I told them, if you buy this,
Yeah.
this is what you're going to see
Yeah.
on this box that you're buying, right? And back then, the commission was 2,000
Yeah.
per 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 DSTV you sell.
Yeah.
Imagine walking to school with 4,000
Okay.
earned money.
Yeah.
That was the very first time I fell in love with sales, and I've been selling all my life. So coming to college,
Yeah.
it was just an upgrade of what I was doing all along from August 2016, I was in Form 2, right?
Yeah.
And that was, I moved from selling goodies and all that, and I started selling insurance, started selling loans, this car financing loans.
Yeah.
I started selling vehicles themselves, as an agent, of course, of different yards here and there. And selling that, I used to earn quite a good amount of money. And of course, that combined with help, it was comfortable for me to pay my own tuition fee.
Yeah.
And I never lived in a hostel, so I used to pay my rent outside school and all that. And I studied Catholic University in Karen, and I used to live in Karen. Right? Yeah. So that was jumping from being a kid to an adult overnight, because I jumped from Kibera to get to where it was easy to immediately starting to pay rent. I used to pay 7,000 rent. Yeah. Paying school fees, paying this, paying that. As much as money was there, it was still too much for me. Right now, that money is nothing. If I'm given that money, it's really not sufficient to do anything important. But back then, that was a lot of money. In Changana, actually. And so that what it felt like. The only hardship was I was getting money that I was not used to. I had moved to a new environment, which is Karen from Kibera. I was now interacting with now higher profile people. I think at some point, probably, if I can remember well, there is a day I met the current first lady in one of the units, because she studied there. She was doing her master's, and there was a unit somewhere we crossed a path. So twice I met her in class. The governor of not Muranga, yes, the Muranga governor. He was one of my lecturers in a law unit, right? So we met the who is who in this country in class, and it was astonishing to us, but later became a normal thing. So those adjustments were so critical for me. Seeing these people face to face, actually talking to them, interacting with them. I was in student leadership at the Catholic University of Eastern Africa during 2022 elections. Politicians used to meet there. The presidential and gubernatorial debate happened there. So we got to interact with these people. And you can imagine how that feels for a kid who grew up in the ghetto, not knowing anything else beyond Sukuma Facebook and all that. So the way to manage life was not the hardest part. The experiences that came with it were the hardest part, but luckily I managed. Absolutely.
Good stuff. So then after you finished your campus life?
Actually, most people don't know this, but I dropped out in my last semester. My very last, 4.2. For 3 reasons actually. One, I lost someone very important to me that time. Through suicide, and it disoriented me. That's one. And then number two, I had, as soon as I got into campus and started selling laws and all, I started trying different businesses. So till that point, I had started almost 30 businesses that all failed. But at that point, one of the businesses I do till today was doing well. And one thing about a business picking up is that it becomes so demanding that you wish it didn't pick up. You start wishing that it didn't pick up. So I had to choose between school and business. Yes. And I remember Elon Musk once said, if that decision can be reversed, then do it without thinking. But it cannot be reversed. then take time, think through and plan.
Yeah.
So Catholic University will always be there. My finance degree will always be there.
Yeah.
So even if I stopped, I can reverse it and go back to study.
Yeah.
But that business, once it's gone, it's gone. You cannot reverse it. So
Yeah.
I chose to go for that which I cannot reverse and put the other on hold. I'll of course go back because I intend to get into politics somewhere in the future, like I said.
And I don't get that degree.
Yes, and I
will be on your neck.
And I need that. So I'll go only for that reason.
Yeah.
Actually, for that reason, not because
you want that degree too.
Just for that reason.
Okay.
That's why I go back. But again, I had to choose business, and so far, I'm really proud that I did that. I'm really proud of my choice.
Good. But me, I want you to go and finish it one of these days.
I will actually intend to go back August this year. Next year, we're getting into an election year, and we're going to see politicians coming up with final promises here.
Yeah, definitely.
We want to put ourselves in positions where we can start trying to put them in check and all that.
Yeah.
And I need such a paper to start getting into those positions. So August this year, I'm going back to finish that semester and hopefully graduate by the end of the year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So generally, how is life now? And maybe doing a reflection of, let's say, I think maybe 13 years ago when you're 12 years, how is life? What can you tell us about life? Like there is somebody there wondering, maybe who is in the same situation you are in at that time. What can you tell these people today? You can actually live your life. You can run your business. You move from that place and you're in a totally a different place. You've met so many people. You have traveled to places. You see, what can you tell these people?
Actually, I've been different communities, and all of them are actually aimed towards financial empowerment of people.
Yeah.
I really don't try to speak in people's morality and all that. I'm not morally upright myself. You are not completely morally upright. So there's no I'm marking skin for morals.
Yeah.
So I don't talk to people in that angle. But the thing that has helped me so far is I started understanding finance because it's a really big part of our lives, whether we like it or not. Everything involves around money, right?
Yeah.
So I started understanding that topic deeper before I even knew I had money.
Yeah.
So one thing I did that is still shocking to me even today, but of course with advice from different people I met, is one optimize your needs.
Okay.
Optimize your what I mean is, let's say today, you are very serious about saving, you want to get into the savings game, you're saving 10,000 per week. All right. You save month 1, that's 40,000. Month 2, 40,000, that's 80.
Yeah.
Month 3, someone who you care about gets sick and they need 100,000 to be sorted out. That means you need to withdraw your 80,000, go 10 after them. You won't say because I'm saving, I'll just let them die.
Yeah, true.
Right? Go 10 to them and then start from 0. And that kills momentum. And there is nothing that is discouraging in life than that momentum. So if you optimize your needs in that, my monthly expenditure is 100,000 for instance.
Yeah.
Then I put up an investment or something that should be paying this 100,000, whether I'm working or not, whether I'm sick or not, whether I'm available or not, 100,000 will come in. Then that means whatever you get within that month can easily be used into savings. That's why I tell people just get a simple healthcare insurance so that when someone gets sick, you don't have to go back to savings and all that. So pre-planning is really good. Number 2, I want you to imagine this, all right?
Yeah.
The reason why I went through what I went through and never gave up is I tried to understand the magical sounds that it took for me to be born, live alone, be alive. right? For you,
Yeah.
let's say for you, PB to be born.
Yeah.
One, your mother and your dad had to meet at a perfect time, because if they met a second late, then probably they would not have rushed things to reach to a point where they got intimate and then give birth to you, right? Or if they met a second earlier, probably would have rushed things and blown everything all together, and you will be here. So imagine that perfect timing. And then leave alone your mom and your dad, go to your mom's side. Her mom and her dad had to have perfect timing for her to be there. Your dad says the same. So imagine that shit down to your ancestors. Imagine all the effort that it took for you to be here today. And then you decide to give up. Just because your girlfriend left you, just because you went hungry today, just because your boss talked badly to you. Why are you wasting all that effort that it took ancestors to come up with that perfect timing until you are here today, right? We were told that during fertilization, it's usually a competition between millions and millions of, the male cells rushing to go fertilize the egg, right? So you won and become number one in a million of other cells just for you to come give up, really. So whatever you're going through, people are going through 10 times worse. Actually, I used to think my story is so unique, right? Very unique, until I listened to people. The story then comes up and I said, how am I alive today? Now I'm a checker to that's nothing. That's when I knew that whatever I'm going through was just a rehearsal of what other people's realities are. So whatever I'm going through doesn't give you the right to give up. And in my book, giving up is the biggest sin possible you can ever commit. So whoever is out there and you're going through trials of life, ups and downs, whatever you do, just don't give up.
And I don't think
whatever you do, don't give up.
And I don't think if I have any other thing to add to that, I think that was amazing. That was amazing for you. I agree with you. We have different battles. People have stories. And I like when people tell their stories because they move people. I have a story, our director and Charlie has a story, Stella he has a story. We both have stories. And our stories are different. If you think yours is the most difficult, just know that there is somebody outside there with a very painful story, even more than yours. So if you are thinking of giving up, so if you're thinking that you're too vulnerable because of that you can't make it, as Leon has said, giving up should be your last option. Just know that there is somebody going through most difficult moments than you. And what I want you to do is that take that experience, take those moments as a lesson, learn, and tell yourself that when I get out of this, I'll come and tell a story. And I'll come and tell my story, and my story will move someone. I'll tell them that, by the way, at one point I was in a similar situation. At one point I was in a situation maybe tougher than yours, but I made it. But at least I never gave up on the journey. I never gave up on my vision. So for me, I think that is very powerful. At no point should you ever think about giving up. So Leon, you have something to add?
I meet people and sometimes they look at the few things I've done here and there and say you're lucky. I could come here and tell you you're lucky for having such a setup, for having such an amazing director and co-director there. I would say you're lucky, but I find luck to be a function of intent, right? For me to get where I am, there are things I did that intentionally put me in rooms that I should not have been, right? when I started consultancy, I didn't have a background. Of course, I'm the only background, missing a background, I'm the background.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a background.
Yeah.
I didn't have experience. I didn't have money, all that. But I used to do something that gave me my very first client that paid me 40,000.
Yeah.
40,000 shika. Huh. Nilichanganya sana. So one of the things I used to do is take, let's say, 5,000 every month. All right, go sit in a very expensive hotel. Nenda Stanley Sarova.
Mm-hmm.
I buy whatever 5,000
Can
buy. Sit at the same place. Every time you go there, eat the same thing, stay there the same period of time, and then leave. Say hi to a few people and then leave. Next time I go, same thing, same routine, say hi to a few people, including the ones I said hi to last time.
Yeah.
Then leave. After a while, they started noticing, what does this guy come to do here and all that. And of course, I always make sure I look sharp.
Yeah.
Right? Because I could be going hungry, but if I'm well dressed, you never know.
True.
So I believe the questions in their minds were, could this be the son of the most influential business people in this country? And with time, they start asking questions. They want to understand your story and all that. After a while, they realize you're just a normal guy doing the very best you can to get ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
And they start trusting you with whatever assignments they have for you to complete that. And slowly, they start referring you to other people. And that's how I got into networks that I'm in right now, that I should never have been there.
Yeah.
So don't wait to get lucky. Create your own luck.
Yeah.
Right? Do whatever is necessary.
Yeah.
Do to make it out, because this I just can't tell you there's magic or no one is coming to save you. So do whatever is necessary to get ahead of the curve, and use whatever means in your disposal to do that. So that's what I have been doing. That's what I did when I started. That's what I want people to do. Don't just sit there and wait. Don't say you're talented. So many people are talented out here. Don't say you're waiting for God to bless you. God doesn't bless you in your house. Step out there and do whatever you can to get ahead of the curve. So that's what I want to say. Are we doing potential?
Yeah. I can do a betting shit.
Oh, my potential is usually the same.
Yeah.
I want you to imagine this now for you. I want you to imagine that day when, let's say, you slept on an empty stomach and you couldn't imagine that night could pass and you'd be alive the next day. You are here right now, right? So it passed. I want you to imagine that day you're very sick and you are really afraid of dying, but you're not dead. You're here, right? I want you to imagine that day when you got a second padlock on your door because you didn't have money to pay rent and you thought your life was over. You're here right now. So that means whatever you're going through will pass at some point.
Yeah.
But how long it takes, it entirely depends on you, and that's where intent comes in. That's why never giving up comes in.
Yeah.
So whatever you're going through right now, today, will also pass, and you'll be just fine. So don't think about giving up. Don't think about, killing yourself or harming yourself. It will pass, just like the rest passed. And of course, God loves you, Jesus loves you, and there is nothing you can do about it apart from going out there and be great. So go out there and be great.
Wow. Amazing. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Leon, for that powerful story. And as you said, and as you put it out there clearly, that there is no room for giving up. People are going through different stuff. And the reason why we like Ronaldo, that is actually a true definition of discipline and hard work. And just going outside there and telling you that talent alone is not enough. Before we started this episode, I directed Jill, we were having a conversation, You're talking about hard work and faith. That if I need to achieve things, can I just be there and have faith that I'll achieve things? And I told him, you know what? Even they say that faith without action is dead. And what is action? Action is actually work. So you have to put something, you have to put work. At the end of the day, whatever you believe in, that faith that you have, if you add work into it, success is going to come. And if you're going through stuff today, just know that you're not the first person and you're not the last. And some people are going through tougher circumstances than yours. But what do you need to do? Cry if you want to cry. If they're too harsh, cry about them, but don't give up. Don't think of any evil thing. And I'm telling you that one day you'll be talking about those stories, and you'll be talking about them smiling, because you shall overcome them, and it will be a testimony to so many people there. So I hope you'll learn from that. And I think I don't want to add any other thing. So thank you so much, Joel, for coming. Thank you for that story. For you, our subscribers, our followers outside there, mine is just to tell you that do not give up. Whatever is hard for you today, one day it will be something in the past, and you'll be looking at it and saying that, actually, I thank God. Like, I'm glad that it happened to me, because it made me the person I am today. So until next time, see you. But don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like and share our podcast. We are on Spotify and YouTube. You can also follow us on our social media platforms. And if you have a topic that you want us to talk about, don't hesitate to share with us. We have our numbers there. We have our email running on the screen. And also, if you have amazing stories that you want to come and share with us, stories that are going to inspire the world, like the Leon's one. If you're an expert in any field and you want to come and share your expertise, you are welcome to Success Ladder Podcast. Thank you very much. Until next episode.